if we have to work for the future, it is said, we must learn from our mistakes in the past. That is why it was important to remind our viewers of the journey of the Women's Reservation Bill and who stood where at that time. But today, now that the Women's Reservation Bill has been passed in the Lok Sabha, the politics preceding it made it absolutely clear that Team INDIA has been blindsided by the Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam, or the bill. The effort now is to try and give it a caste spin. We've been telling you here on India Upfront that the next 6 months before 2024 elections are going to be a focused fight for the OBC vote, and the Congress is desperately trying to spin the women's quota issue around to that angle as well. Let me explain how. Now, all are in agreement that the Women's Reservation Bill is electorally critical for 2024. Women form almost 50% of the electorate. A reservation would have helped the BJP reach out to this vote bank. The situation is now awkward for the opposition because it leaves them in a position where they can't be seen opposing a gender justice move. They also will be asked about why they left this issue hanging fire for 13 long years. So today came the twist where members of INDIA, when the bill was being debated in the Lok Sabha, especially Mrs. Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, turned the focus instead on OBC politics, asking why women from backward communities have not been given a quota within this quota, seeking a caste census, and Rahul Gandhi even referring to how just 3 secretaries in the central government were OBCs.
पहली दफा स्थानीय निकायों में स्त्री की भागीदारी तय करने वाला संविधान संशोधन मेरे जीवन साथी राजीव गांधी जी ही लाए थे। कास्ट सेंसस कराकर शेड्यूल ट्राइब ओबीसीज की महिलाओं के आरक्षण की व्यवस्था की गई। सरकार को इसे साकार करने के लिए भी जो कदम उठाने की जरूरत है वह उठाने ही चाहिए। भारतीय राष्ट्रीय कांग्रेस की मांग है कि यह बिल फौरन अमल में लाया जाए।
There is one thing, in my view, that makes this bill incomplete. I would like to have seen OBC reservation included in this bill. I think it is very important that a large chunk of India's population, large chunk of India's women should have access to this reservation. And that is missing in this bill. The moment the opposition raises the issue of caste census, the BJP tries to create a new distraction, a new sudden, event, so that the OBC community and the people of India look the other way.
But here's the thing. Concern for OBCs is great. But why has it been kindled in 2023? In 2010, when the Congress had the Women's Reservation Bill passed in the Rajya Sabha bill, which they are calling as Apna Bill, questions were raised at that time as well about a quota within quota. Here's what the then UPA chairperson Sonia Gandhi said about demands for an OBC reservation within the Women's Reservation. And I quote what she said. To those who ask such questions, I would say, who prevents you from giving to Muslim women, to OBC women, a seat in the reserved 33%? Who's going to prevent them from doing it? This is what Mrs. Gandhi said in 2010. In 2023, the tune has changed. What else has changed in the last 13 years? Why the sudden insistence for the same quota that the Congress dismissed in Hamara Bill? Is it that the intent really is to counter the women's outreach made by the BJP with an OBC mobilization And it's for that reason that when Rahul Gandhi raised the issue of 3 Government of India secretaries being OBCs and only 3 OBC secretaries running the central government, here's what the Home Minister answered.
मैंने ये सवाल पूछा कि ये जो 70 सेक्रेटरी हैं, 90 सेक्रेटरी हैं, ये जो हिंदुस्तान की सरकार को चलाते हैं, जो बजट को चलाते हैं, इनमें से ओबीसी कितने हैं? नरेंद्र मोदी जी प्रधानमंत्री हैं, ओबीसी के लिए काम करते हैं। मैंने ये सवाल पूछा। मैं आपको जवाब देना चाहता हूं, हिंदुस्तान के सेक्रेटरीज 90 में से सिर्फ 3 ओबीसी से हैं। ये जो सेक्रेटरीज हैं जो ओबीसी कम्युनिटी से हैं, ये हिंदुस्तान के सिर्फ 5% बजट को कंट्रोल करते हैं।
अब इनकी समझ है कि देश सेक्रेटरी चलाते हैं, मेरी समझ है देश सरकार चलाती है। मान्यवर, संविधान की स्कीम है, देश की नीतियों का निर्धारण इस देश की कैबिनेट करती है। और ये सारे जो ओबीसी का अलगते हैं, उनको मैं कहना चाहता हूं, आपकी पार्टियों ने कभी ओबीसी प्रधानमंत्री नहीं बनाया, भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने ओबीसी प्रधानमंत्री बनाया।
So here simply are the key questions that arise from what we have seen, the politics over the Women's Reservation Bill. Is the OBC demand a smart way to counter the BJP's Mahila Bill move? But in doing so, how will the Congress explain its own shift in position from 2010 to 2023? And in bringing in caste politics, isn't the issue of gender justice through the Mahila Aarakshan Bill being trivialized? Let me take that across. The panel joining us now: Priyanka Tibrewal, spokesperson of the BJP; Dr. Riju Datta, spokesperson Trinamool Congress; Anjum Ara, spokesperson of the JDU; Rohan Mitra, political analyst; and senior journalist Ashutosh. You have to give it to Team INDIA, Priyanka Tibrewal. You thought that you would reach out to the 50% women voters. They have said, what about the 50% OBC vote? What about the reservation to OBCs? And they have brought in the caste census as well.
Well, Padmaja, see, clear politics is visible here, where we are talking about, women empowerment. What are they doing? They are trying to bring caste politics into this. Now we all know the anti-OBC side, which is always reflected from the Congress side. See, it is very, very obvious that when BJP supported the VP Singh government at the center, who implemented the Mandal Commission, which was opposed by Rajiv Gandhi. So what they have done in the past, how will they face the country, and how will they question or say anything about it? See, now they are showing their concern, and I believe that the concern which is being done, not only on words but in action, is visible from the Rohini Commission, for which the Modi government is already taking action and doing things over it. But what is the Congress doing? See, here they are so very threatened with the idea that women will get their rightful place in parliament. So these leaders who have always opposed, now Sonia Gandhi ji is repeating the words of Mulayam Singh, who said "Kote mein kota." These were his words. See, Sonia Gandhi, the Congress government was here for 50 years, but they couldn't implement anything. Their action speaks louder than words.
Okay.
What have they done? Even when the bill was passed in Rajya Sabha, why couldn't she get it passed in Lok Sabha?
Okay, let's take this one by one. Rohan Mitra, opening argument is that you are bringing in caste issues and you are demeaning a move for gender justice.
Padmaja, throughout the day, did you hear a single opposition MP speak against the bill? They were ready to accept the bill today, tomorrow, any given day. And they said, let's implement it, let's have the 2024 elections part of this bill. Let the women of India have a reservation 33% in the 2024 elections. You are blaming Sonia ji, you're blaming Rahul Gandhi ji. I just saw your tweet. There are 2 MPs who haven't, voted for the women's reservation bill. Have you seen what the Yuva Morcha, the BJP Yuva Morcha MP has said about the women's reservation bill when he was elected into the parliament? Have you seen what the social media head of the BJP speak about women and women reservation bill? These are people who have been rewarded. These are the people who have come up the BJP since 2014. And you're blaming the opposition.
Nobody is
When
blaming
Mr.
anyone.
Modi
Nobody is
was spoken, when
blaming
Rahul
anyone.
Gandhi
In
said,
fact, I
"All
started
Modi
out by
chore hai."
saying
Let me finish.
it's
Let me
smart
finish,
politics.
Padmaja.
It's smart politics. You're bringing in quota. My question is, the same people
What
who
are we
are today
talking about?
talking
Have we
about
not
OBC
accepted
quota.
the bill?
I have a
We've
very simple
accepted the bill.
question. I have a very simple question. You want quota within quota, but Mrs. Gandhi in 2010 had said that anyone who wants to give OBCs reservation, give it within the 33%. Why has that stand changed in 13 years? It is just political, right?
So,
I mean, what you dismissed in 2010,
why
you are
has this-
advocating
why has
in
the BJP stand
2023.
changed? Why has the BJP stand changed? And first of all, Padmaja, what are we celebrating? This bill doesn't even come into the, it's not applicable.
You are dodging my
have a
question.
census,
You're
you
dodging
have a
my question, sir.
delimitation. Where is
How?
this bill?
Why are you
No, I am
bringing in
not dodging your
OBC
question. You're
quota
dodging my question.
into
Have
an
you
issue
questioned
for
Tejasvi
women's
Surya?
reservation?
Have you questioned Amit Malviya?
Sir, I'm asking you
We
simply
are not.
about
We
the
passed
OBC
bill.
quota.
The bill is there. We
Why
have
are you
said this
suddenly
should be
asking for
taken into
OBC
account.
quota?
So the opposition cannot speak about the OBC. So
But
the opposition
in
is not allowed to
2010,
speak about
Mrs.
OBC.
Gandhi
It's
herself
only Mr.
dismissed the
Modi's
idea of OBC
and
quota.
the BJP party's right to speak about it.
But sir, in 2010, when your
No,
party
Mrs.
was
Gandhi
asked...
hasn't dismissed
Okay.
the right for anything.
Okay, the bill that you brought in 2010 and passed in Rajya Sabha, did it have OBC
She
quota?
hasn't. She hasn't.
Did it have an OBC quota?
You should hear her speech this morning. She wants the OBCs to be included.
Now,
You cannot go back to 2010 in your own convenience.
Now.
She spoke in the morning. She said what she said and the whole country heard it. Yes, today morning.
exactly. In
Have
2010,
you
when
questioned
you were
Tejasvi
in
Surya?
power,
Have you
when you
questioned
had
Amit
the
Malviya?
power to give that quota, at that time you dismissed it. Now that you're in
Padmaja, we did
opposition,
not have the majority
isn't
like
it
BJP had in the
opportunistic?
last two terms.
Arey, Mr. Mitra, in 2010 you had it
It
passed
is
in
not
Rajya Sabha,
opportunistic.
right?
We did not have the numbers.
Arey, but in Rajya
We did
Sabha you
not
had
have
the
the
numbers,
numbers.
you got it passed.
We did not have the numbers to pass
And when
this
you
bill
got
in the
it
Lok
passed,
Sabha.
you didn't provision for an OBC quota
Yeah,
in
but we didn't have the
2010.
numbers in Lok Sabha.
Arey, but in Rajya Sabha, did you get an OBC quota in women's
But we
reservation?
spoke about it today. We are talking about it today. You want to go back to 2010. Have you seen what Mr. Modi spoke before he became the Prime Minister of India? What did he
Okay.
speak about the dollar? What did he speak about the oil prices?
Okay,
What did
maybe...
you want to go back to 2010 for the Congress, but you don't want to go back to 2010 for Mr. Modi as the Gujarat CM.
Okay, so today the Congress wants OBC quota within the women's reservation quota. You don't think that this is opportunistic, Rohan Mitra?
Absolutely not. And first of all, this bill is not even implemented. When is this bill going to be implemented? Can you ask that question to the BJP? When are we going to see the 33% reservation in Parliament? Is it
Okay.
in 2014, 24, in 29, in 2034? When?
Sir,
Can we get that answer from them?
the
That is
limited
most
point
important
I was
question,
trying to
Padmaja.
make is what
How are you
I didn't
missing out on
understand.
that?
Okay, Priyanka Tibrewal will answer that. Is this a very targeted move to try and woo OBCs, Ashutosh? Given that you have a large 50% vote bank, every move of Team India in the recent past has indicated they want the OBCs to gravitate away from the BJP. Specifically, leave alone women. Why would Rahul Gandhi refer to 3 secretaries in the government of India? That doesn't even have anything to do with women's reservation. How is it material that there are 3 secretaries in the government of India who are OBCs?
Padmaja, two things. First of all, Congress party has lost nationally its social base, and that's why they are looking for a new social base for itself. So it's very politically legitimate that if they are targeting OBCs and they are talking about the caste census, because unless they gain that, it will be difficult for them, because they know when the Congress party was ruling and was having government at the center, then the Congress party had a huge majority of the upper caste within the Dalits and the Muslims. Now the upper caste has, lock, stock and barrel has gone to the BJP. So there is no possibility of them coming back to the BJP, coming back to the Congress party. So obviously, there is Dalit movement, and there is a minorities. Now what is the social base which is left? The OBC social base is left, and they know that maybe they will find it difficult to get that in UP and Bihar, but at least in all over India, they can get back. If they get that social base to itself, then it will be politically very prudent for them. Now, the point number 2, I think the word has moved in the last 13 years. Those who opposed, like Janata Dal U, Janata Dal secular RJD, Samajwadi Party in 2008 and 2009. Now they have wizened and they are led by the second generation of leadership. There is no Lalu Prasad Yadav, there is no Mulayam Singh Yadav, there is no Ramvilas Paswan, and there is no Sharad Yadav. These were the people who opposed Women Reservation Bill in 1996 when Geeta Mukherjee was said, there is second generation of leadership led by Tejaswi Yadav and Akhilesh Yadav, and they are more liberal in their attitude. So I think that whole thing has also changed. The third point, which is important, I think let's go back to the history also, because the BJP spokesperson was saying that the BJP supported BP Singh has implemented Mandal Commission. But I was reporting at that point of time, and I know for sure that the BJP internally opposed Mandal Commission, never wanted the Mandal Commission to be implemented. And in fact, there is a serious accusation that the anti-Mandal forum was launched by the BJP. So BJP has also changed its stand because they realize unless they get this social base to themselves, and that's why they started promoting Kalyan Singh, Uma Bharti and others. And they got the dividend in UP and Madhya Pradesh and other places. So I think every political party is wizened now, and they realize that women reservation bill at least is one step in the right direction. Okay, but Ashutosh ji, since you referred to history, coincidentally, I also wanted to read out something that I found in a book that I had read recently. It talks about the year 1990, and it would interest you as well, Rohan Mitra, to listen to this. On the 7th of August 1990, the VP Singh government decided to implement recommendations of Mandal Commission report that had been ignored for years. Going by the recommendations of the Mandal report, the government announced a decision to grant 27% reservation to OBCs. Rajiv Gandhi opposed the implementation of the Mandal report. He said, and listen to this, he is quoted as saying, "I charge you with this. You have taken the country to the edge of caste wars. Raja Sahib's policies are not very different from what the Britishers were doing, sir. It was the British who tried to divide our country on caste and religion, and today it is the Raja Sahib." He was referring to VP Singh. It is Raja Sahib who is sitting there trying to divide our country on caste and religion. So asking for an OBC vote or an OBC reservation, Rajiv ji said, is like a British move, dividing our country, Rohan Mitra, along lines of caste. Divide and rule, said Rajiv Gandhi in the year 1990. And today the Congress in 2023 is doing the same thing.
Sonia ji has spoken in the morning. Yes.
So are we following Rajiv Ji's spirit or we are not following Rajiv Ji's spirit? Because we were told women reservation bill is Rajiv Ji's.
Padmaja, we want... Padmaja, you're diverting the question. The main question should be, when are these 33% women?
Actually not. You're diverting the question.
Can you ask the BJP to answer that?
Sir, I was very focused on women's reservation. The Congress chose to give it a caste spin. Now my question to you is that Mr. Rajiv Gandhi has always said that to bring in caste is to push the country into caste wars. Does the Congress and INDIA today believe that pitting one caste against the other is a good move or it's a divide and rule move? Where does the Congress stand?
Padmaja, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi has clearly expressed what she had to express, and Mr. Rahul Gandhi has said what he had to say on the parliament. So let's not move away from there. And I want to ask the BJP, when are we seeing the 33% women on the floor of the parliament? Let's ask that question. That's the most important question.
Sir, if
what are we celebrating?
That is the most important question. Then you shouldn't have brought in Government of India secretaries and how 3 of them are OBCs or how many at state level are OBCs. Anyhow, if that was the main question, you should have stuck to it. You brought in the caste census. You brought in the issue of how people are not represented as OBCs.
Goes to the High Court and says that he as an OBC is being insulted, and Mr. Rahul Gandhi's legislatorship goes away, then it is about the OBC. But today, when we are trying to talk about a legitimate thing where women from the OBCs has to be included in this reservation, that's a bad thing. Well, I welcome that your criticization, because it doesn't make any difference.
It is not a criticism at all. Priyanka Tibrewal, there's a change of mind. Like Ashutosh ji said, 13 years, there is a new leadership. It is a more mature leadership. They are a more liberal leadership, and now they want caste-based reservation for women, which you have run away from.
Today only we heard what Sonia Gandhi said, and my friend here sitting here is also saying, you know, what Sonia Gandhi had said. But in 2010 also, Sonia Gandhi in an interview clearly said that there are several leaders, who are against this reservation bill from her party. And she mentioned that in an interview. Sorry about that. See, my friend, what I'm trying to say here is from Congress, see, when they started, they just want to digress from the topic. They had started by saying that, delimitation, when will delimitation happen? When will census happen? Then some people who, they have no background of any kind of knowledge regarding the same, they said that why don't they do it in this 24 election? So Article 82, Article 330 and 332 are answers to this, my friend. Please go to Article 82. It is not that we are deciding that when the census will happen. It is all mentioned there. So till 2026, this can't happen. It is not a packet of potatoes that we buy from the market and hand it to you. It is a bill. There are proper guidelines which are given. You have to follow all those guidelines. Even for the delimitation, there has to be a committee which has to be set up. Today, if BJP goes and does the delimitation, you will say, oh my God, you have removed the Wayanad seat. What has happened? You have done everything politically. So there is a perfect way of doing things which will happen accordingly. But somebody has to give a start. You were there for 50 years. You made no move. And your leader of your party, a most powerful lady in your party, she openly said that people who were a part of your government, they simply refused to give any kind of reservation to women. Their mindset was so visible. Now today you say that they are not no more. Their children are there. So who is going to handle all this because of the nepotism which is present in your party?
Okay, I want to open this up, get in the TMC and Samajwadi Party as well. But before that, I just want to bring a piece of breaking news to our viewers. In fact, remember, 2 members of parliament have voted against the women's reservation bill, which has now been passed in the Lok Sabha. And now we are learning those 2 MPs are Imtiaz Jaleel and Asaduddin Owaisi of the AIMIM. Quite disappointing that they would choose to vote against the bill. Let's quickly cut across to Aishwarya. What is the reason for voting against the bill by both of these MPs, Aishwarya?
Well, currently the division is happening on the amendments for the women reservation bill, and OAC and Imtiaz Jaleel, both from the AIMIM, had opposed this, and the bill is yet to be passed. The division is currently underway on the amendment. So the final bill, when the division will happen on that, certainly we'll get to know that whether these 2 members of parliament will support to that or not. But amendments is something that they opposed for, and therefore the reason perhaps these 2 names of Asaduddin Owaisi and Imtiaz Jaleel, both from the AIMIM, had opposed, and the names have come forward.
Very strange, because Mr. Owaisi yesterday was talking about how not just women but Muslim women need to find more representation. As a beginning, even the women's reservation has been opposed by him and his party MP. In principle, they both have voted against it. Thanks very much, Aishwarya. Let me bring in Riju Datta and the JDU as well. Riju Datta, is there a sentiment now that perhaps the BJP is going to benefit from bringing in the bill, which is why there is a concerted effort to try and counter it by talking about OBCs, by talking about the caste census?
See, whether, first of all, Trinamool Congress welcomed the women reservation bill with open arms, because as you know, we belong to the party where we have the only sitting woman minister in the country, and she is probably the one who started the women reservation bill movement in 1996. But after that, a lot of history has gone by. I'm not going into that. But my pertinent question is, who do we believe?
Can I ask you a counter question in a lighter vein?
Mr. Narendra Modi, Amit Shah.
Can I ask you one small counter question in a lighter vein? Riju Datta.
Your channel, your show, you call me after 25 minutes and you interrupt me.
Okay, I'll take 10 seconds to ask you a counter question. You know, going by the logic, I hope somebody from the Congress doesn't ask you, why don't you have a OBC woman chief minister? But anyhow, go on.
Okay. Yes, I will answer your questions. Now, you and BJP have been talking about 2010. Now, who do we believe? Do we believe BJP, Narendra Modi, or do we believe their trolling chief, Amit Malviya? Because from 2010 till 2023, on social media, he has displayed his toxic misogyny and completely opposed the women reservation bill. That needs to be addressed. Now, second, I will not talk about going to the technicalities of the inclusion of OBC in the women bill, but the question has to be asked, because when the new parliament is inaugurated, when the prime minister is there, when the leader of opposition is there, the honorable president of India, the first lady of the country, is not invited or allowed inside the parliament. Why? Because she's an Adivasi. That question needs to be answered also. And third, talking about OBC, the question you asked me, why don't you have an OBC chief minister? Well, madam, we have imposed women reservation in our party long before this bill was tabled. We have 39% representation of women in the parliament, whereas BJP, who tabled this bill today, the historic bill, only has 11%, and there is only 2 Muslim MPs in the Lok Sabha, only 2. Belonging from the OBC, who represent 20% of the Indian population. And you know from which party they are from? Trinamool Congress. So nobody giving us gyan, any political party giving us gyan, will be living in fool's paradise, because we are the definition of women empowerment and women reservation.
Okay, respond to this. Priyanka Tibrewal, first two things. Respond to this, that you had members of your party, people like Amit Malviya, in fact even Yogi Adityanath, there is a soundbite of him in 2010 saying that party whip cannot prevail. We are opposed to women's reservation. This must be sorted out internally.
Padmaja, this reservation bill which is being passed is not being passed by a party. It is being passed by the government here. By the government here. And what is the will of the government? That the entire country can see, and that's quite visible. Now my friend Mr. Datta was talking such big things about Mamata Banerjee and TMC and the way they support women. So these double standards are so very visible, because in 2010, when the bill was being passed in Rajya Sabha, Mamata Banerjee was absent from voting in for the bill. Now this is the lack of genuine commitment. He's saying, you know, they support so many women are their MPs and MLAs. They have so many percentage.
She wasn't absent. 2 of her party MPs, including Dinesh Trivedi, were absent. She had 2 MPs in the Rajya Sabha. They were absent. Yes.
So this is their double standard. So today what they are saying, see, this is a bill, you know, which will give women a position. Because we have heard people like Lalu Prasad Yadav, who used to say that there is no country where women have any reservation. We have seen people like Mulayam Singh Yadav, who said that boys will whistle. We have seen people like Surendra Prasad, who said, you know, that Baba Saheb Ambedkar came in his dreams, and he said that he should tear the bill which was then, you know, on the verge of getting passed. So we have seen all this, and as women, we will not forget that these are the people who said that, you know, only elite class women will reach, and that will not be a representation. So today, instead of saying that, they are saying that OBC women are not being represented. So it is just that they want to shift the focus, but you see, it is Modi ji, it is our Prime Minister, who has always said and believed in Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. And if you ask about BJP, then whatever BJP said, you know, during our elections, we have maintained that. We said that we will bring this bill, and we have brought this bill. Now, as far as when it will be implemented, that I've already said that please go and read the articles, you will come to know. So there is a way of doing things, and we believe in the same.
Okay, respond to this, Riju Datta, and let me actually put this out on record. Credit where it's due. Trinamool Congress actually has 37% of the tickets given to women for the Lok Sabha. That is among the highest number of tickets given to women. The BJP stands at 12.5% and the Congress is at 12.8% in the number of tickets they have given to women for fighting in the Lok Sabha. But in 2010, again, history comes back to haunt Riju Datta, TMC had gone missing from the Rajya Sabha when it came to actually walking the talk.
Like again, see, we walked the talk today, right? Every one of our MPs voted for the bill. See, again, I will have only one question, one direct question, and I'm sure you will appreciate this, Padmaja, you being an independent, strong woman as well, that why was the First Lady not part of the Parliament inauguration? Why was she not part of the Ram Mandir inauguration? If you have your right mentality, what Mr. Amit Shah said, that it is not a matter of politics for us, then why the First Lady of the country not present there? Why is it because she's an Adivasi? This question needs to be answered. What is the action taken by the BJP on their troll in chief Amit Malviya, who has constantly tweeted and
interesting that actually instead of focusing on the bill being passed in the Lok Sabha, finally you again choose to focus not on OBC politics but about the president being absent. But answer that, Priyanka Tibrewal.
That is what I'm saying, that people who call the president that she is dark, what kind of this background she comes from, such TMC party people do not have the right to ask such questions. And you know, whatever is the protocol that is being followed, we need not ask TMC people, you know, as to what should be done and what are the procedures.
Okay,
It is their party people who spoke about the president, and then they had to write an apology letter.
Okay, let me bring in the JDU as well. Before Anjum Araji, I ask you a question. You know, today the question was asked about what about OBC representation? क्या आपको लगता है कि ये जो सवाल अभी OBC representation के बारे में उठाए जा रहे हैं with regard to women's bill, it is a reaction to the possible electoral outcome कि अब इसमें राजनीतिक असर क्या होने वाला है, ये सोच करके अब पिछड़ों का या फिर जातिगत जनगणना का मुद्दा महिला आरक्षण के वक्त पर उठाया जा रहा है।
और देखिए पद्मा जी, इस बात को नहीं भूलना चाहिए कि महिलाओं की भी अपनी जाति है और अपना वर्ग है, और रिप्रेजेंटेशन की बात, जहां तक आरक्षण की बात जो हमारे नेता या हमारी पार्टी ने सदन में रखा है वो बिल्कुल सही रखा कि संविधान में एक व्यवस्था की गई, संविधान में ये प्रावधान है कि जो डिप्राइव, शोषित और वंचित समाज के लोग हैं उनकी भी भागीदारी सदन में सुनिश्चित किया जाए, और इसके लिए जरूरी है कि रिजर्वेशन विद इन रिजर्वेशन जो कोटा की बात की गई है ये होगा तभी संभव है। लेकिन केंद्र की जो सरकार है वहां पे मोदी सरकार, वो तो दलित विरोधी, महिला विरोधी, पिछड़ा अति पिछड़ा विरोधी सरकार है। यह स्पष्ट इस बात से होता है कि आप इमेजिन करिए कि पिछड़े अति पिछड़े के बच्चों के लिए कक्षा 1 से 8 तक स्कॉलरशिप की राशि थी उसको बंद कर दिया गया ताकि जो फंडामेंटल राइट है अति पिछड़े के बच्चों को शिक्षा ग्रहण करके वो वंचित रह जाए। बाबू जगजीवन राम छात्रावास योजना का नाम इसलिए बदल दिया गया क्योंकि वो दलित समाज से थे, उनके नाम के आगे बाबू लगा हुआ था। और पद्मा जी, ये ऐसे वक्त में ये कह रहे कि विमेन रिजर्वेशन बिल आया है, ये बिल कोई नया नहीं है। सीधी सी बात है कि जो मोदी सरकार पहलवान बेटियों के साथ जिस तरह से दुर्व्यवहार हुआ, मुंह तक नहीं खोले, मणिपुर पे पूरे वैश्विक स्तर पे भारत का किस तरह से उपहास हुआ ये हम लोगों को देखने को मिला। देश की पहली नागरिक महामहिम राष्ट्रपति महोदया, जो देश का संविधान कहता है कि संसद की सर्वोच्च महामहिम होंगी, उनको इनवाइट तक नहीं किया गया है उस संसद के उद्घाटन समारोह में। देखिए पद्मा जी, ये आरक्षण बिल का हम लोगों ने मजबूती से समर्थन आज भी किया है, पहले भी जब चर्चा हुआ था हमने किया था, लेकिन
पहले तो नहीं किया था।
के साथ आपके चैनल के माध्यम से
अंजुम जी, सॉरी टू से, बट पहले आपने नहीं किया था। ये तो इट इज अ मैटर ऑफ रिकॉर्ड। आपने पहले इसको अपोज किया है, 2010 में आपने इसका पुरजोर विरोध किया है, ये तो इट इज अ मैटर ऑफ रिकॉर्ड।
अपोज नहीं विरोध नहीं, हमने आरक्षण की बात उस वक्त भी की थी। हमारे राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष स्वर्गीय शरद यादव जी ने सदन में अपना वक्तव्य दिया था और कहा था कि रिजर्वेशन जो है, कोटा के अंदर रिजर्वेशन होना चाहिए, ये हमारा उस टाइम था। और
उस वक्त कांग्रेस ने आपकी बात नहीं मानी थी।
जी, मैं ये दावे
तो आपको लगता है जो उस वक्त कांग्रेस का बिल है, अंजुम जी आपने बहुत अच्छी बात की, तो आप ये मानेंगी क्योंकि आज जब ये बिल पास हो रहा है तो कांग्रेस कह रही है ये तो हमारा ही बिल है, तो आप मानती हैं जिस बिल को कांग्रेस कह रही है हमारा बिल है, उस बिल में और इस बिल में फर्क है? क्योंकि आज कम से कम ये कहा जा रहा है कि SC ST के लिए रिजर्वेशन होगा।
वीमेन पद्मा जी, मैं ये कहना चाहती हूं कि रिजर्वेशन SC ST के लिए कह रहे होगा, ये तो संविधान में प्रावधान, ये खैरात दे रहे हैं, ये खैरात नहीं ना दे रहे हैं, ये देश के संविधान में प्रावधान है। लेकिन कब होगा, परिसीमन ही नहीं है, कास्ट सेंसस ही नहीं हुआ है। जिस कास्ट सेंसस को पद्मा जी 2021 होना चाहिए था, ये अभी तक कास्ट सेंसस नहीं करा पाए, तो 2024 में हमारी देश की महिलाएं का रिप्रेजेंटेशन तो वहां पे गौन हो गया, वहां पे तो नहीं इसका लाभ मिल पाएगा।
तो फिर ये बताइए कि अगर ये बिल अधूरा है और इसमें OBC रिजर्वेशन नहीं है,
महिला विरोधी सोच के कारण,
तो JDU इसका समर्थन अब क्यों कर रही है? अगर ये आपको OBC विरोधी लग रहा है क्योंकि इसमें नहीं OBC कोटा दिया है, तो आप समर्थन क्यों कर रहे हैं?
हमने अपेक्षा किया, हमने मांग रखी है पद्मा जी, हमने मांग रखी है और ये अपेक्षा करते हैं कि मोदी सरकार पिछड़े, अति पिछड़े दलितों के विरोध में अब ना हो करके हमारी जो मांगे उसको मांगे, और डिप्राइव और वंचित और शोषित समाज की जो महिलाएं हैं, संविधान में जो बाबा साहेब भीमराव अंबेडकर ने इस वर्ग के लिए जो अधिकार दिया है उसको अधिकार वो सुनिश्चित कराए, हमारी मांगों को वो मांग करें और हमारी अपेक्षाओं को वो पूरी करें। ये हमने अपेक्षा जाहिर किया है।
Okay, at least you've taken the first step. That is commendable, that you've helped clear the bill in the Lok Sabha in the hope that there are going to be further amendments later. But just on the specific issue of representation and OBCs, let's take a look at what the data tells us right now. As far as the Union Cabinet is concerned, you've got 29 OBCs in the Union Cabinet, including the Prime Minister himself. 36% of the cabinet ministers at present are OBCs. 85 MPs are from the OBC category. The largest chunk, in fact, right now of the MPs in the BJP come from the OBC categories, and 365 BJP MLAs out of a total 1,358, which is nearly 1/3 of the MLAs that the BJP has across the country are from the OBC category. And which is why I want to ask again, Ashutosh ji, that if the opposition today is saying that we want to pit OBC politics against women vote bank politics, can they really craft that narrative given these kind of numbers? Where the BJP can clearly say, you are coming at us with OBC politics. हमारा तो प्रधानमंत्री OBC है.
See, one thing which looks to a riddle for me is simple reason, because the BJP supports Mandal Commission and it supports 27% reservation in education as well as in government job. Though what's the problem that they are not supporting OBC reservation within the women reservation? I think it's a logical thing that should have been done. About the opposition politics is very simple. That they want to grab this opportunity to make it a point that the BJP claim that it cares for the OBCs is hollow. And because everybody knows that what kind of biases are there in the system itself. What Rahul Gandhi has said has to be taken seriously for the simple reason, because Mandal Commission has been implemented. It's almost 30 years, more than 30 years. But still, if out of 90 secretaries, only 3 secretaries are OBCs, that shows that there is an inbuilt bias in the system itself. If you stretch this logic to the judiciary, if you stretch this logic to the universities, in education system, you will be amazed to know that there is hardly one vice chancellor which belongs to the OBC. Hardly 2 or 3 professors who belongs to the OBC. There's hardly anybody within the judiciary in Supreme Court and the High Court who belongs to the OBC. So this shows that there is a need to push OBCs in the higher echelons of power.
And sir,
because becoming member of parliament is important. There's no doubt about it.
But there's an interesting statistic. There's an interesting statistic which the BJP has just put out, that in Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Himachal Pradesh and Karnataka, you don't even have a single chief secretary who is an OBC. So if you're talking about representation, all of them are also Congress-ruled states. So we make a decision. Do we want representation in parliament? Do we want representation among bureaucrats? If there is no representation, then who is responsible for it? And more importantly, should we be pitting one community against the other? Should we be trying to divide women who are finally finding representation also along caste lines? Politically, maybe it's smart. Ethically, is it good? I'll leave it to your judgment. Thanks very much, all gentlemen, and Priyanka Tibrewal and Anjum Araji for having joined me.